Jen is only taking 50 damage, but that car is really, really weak as well. And if this blows up right now, that could completely take out Agers. But yes, it's a Need for Speed style getaway, and they are out of it. Let's go.
How in the world did they just survive that? And they didn't even lose a single tire, by the way, so the car still has some decent health here. They're alive. They make it out. That was a getaway. That's what Fortnite's all about right there, isn't it?
You got to think, are they going to be chased, though? I can see the names over there.
Oh,
and
no.
it's Damiro Reverse.
No.
The one team you probably do not to pull up you, but I don't know if they've even noticed yet. They must hide. You guys have to hide behind this. Cover your line of sights. And Damiro Reverse have gone past, completely oblivious to the fact that DJ, Agers, and Skittles are here at the edge of the map with nothing. No materials to work with. This would be the freest 6 points that they could ever have if they roll on through here right now. But no, they've not managed to spot them.
Mind you, Reverse Decay Damiro, they rotate out quick for a fight. So, like, that is quite literally what they're looking for. Yes, they are looking for a fight. And, man, I hope you guys, you can breathe now, all right? If you were holding your breath, it's okay. They survived. That was insane. Just, you know, near Elim experience, if you will. Back to back.
100%, 100% for them, right? That's going to be big. And remember, because they are currently in 4th place, that could have thrown, honestly, if they went down there the whole tournament, if they clutch up a big game in this, that, remember, the fact that Damiro Reverse just drove by and didn't see them is indeed legendary.
That would be so crazy. This you could make a whole montage out of this one single game here, how quickly things just could have crumbled for them. So, all right. Now we got something to root for. Agers, DGen, and Skittles here, whether or not they can actually bounce back here, pull a victory. Now, if they do, there'll be another team to go back-to-back today. So, guys, mind you, this is a very tough ask we're putting on the table here. So, you know, bear with us. We're asking for the near impossible, but it is possible. They're still alive.
It is indeed, and this is the remnants of what we saw. This is where Damiro and Reverse were headed. This is the destination they had on their GPS in that car, and they were pushing into this fight that we've seen so many times, but it seems like they're not looking to take it. This fight has obviously gone on a long time between Bank Teller's team going against Clix's team here. They're not looking to see if they've cleaned up any remnants. We saw on the map that there was a singular player at least up to the north, but they're just going to get on out here. And what I can see is that neither of these teams have actually been eliminated so far in this game, so unsure where they are. It seems like they may have disengaged, but they didn't disengage past Damiro in Reverse.
Yeah, they were just a little too late to get to the steamy stacks here and try to find the fight. I was about to call it the Kevolution Energy. I was like, huh? Wait a second. No, yeah, you know, the steamy stacks powered by Kev, you know?
There you go.
You see it. I see the vibes.
I saw there was a DreamHack question. The only time I ever saw. What was the name of the steamy stacks? What's it called? And I remember on that day I'd played Soul Arena, walked past and read that sign, and I've been dropping at that drop spot for 7 seasons, and I was like, oh, this place is called the Kevolution Energy.
Oh my gosh, that's actually incredible. Little things like that, little Easter eggs inside the Fortnite world. Yeah, look around, man. The art team's got some cool stuff planted everywhere.
100%, 100%.
Rokane, Mega Dove's back in a new position now. Hey, they're just trying everything, aren't they? They went south this time.
Yeah, and actually one of the things that's cool is you can see that Weeping Woods, like, because the trees that have been just completely ripped out, right? You can see the fire damage that's caused them to knock all the way down. One gas can or a couple fireflies, because the trees are so close to each other, just wipes out basically this whole area. So if you want to rotate through here, if the trees are there, great, your sightlines are covered. But if you want to get Storm Surge tags, those trees cover every single player trying to rotate in. So if you're Dubs, Rokane, and Mega, and you want to get tags, you just burn down this area using potentially the fireflies or the gas cans, and it just opens up so many more of your sightlines. But again, it's a tough place to get tags on because of the hills. There's still a lot of ways that your sightlines are blocked in there too, so we'll see how that Storm Surge strategy plays out for them.
Yeah, definitely. It might work out though. You saw right there, they caught a couple tags onto Acorn, Jack, and Slacks, who were just rotating up from the steamy kind of area there. Night Shark and Clarity have already done their bum rush into the Holly Hatchery for a fight as well. You can see they're looking to get out. They've been using this whole use a vehicle, hop on a team strat. It's been working out for them so far today. Aspect, Who Fishy, and Kaz on the other side playing deep zone right now. Slow and steady.
I'm trying to figure out what the play is from here. Why they've ended up so deep. I mean, they have really good loot. 127 builds on Aspect as well. Potentially they're trying to keep their distance from a specific team that we saw was close by, but maybe a storm fight ensued because they seem to know something that we don't, that maybe in Believers Beach there's a team roaming around deep in there that they're looking to get tags on, that they're going to hold down in storm, but I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing any names pop up. I'm not seeing anyone on the map. Oh, there they are. Now they're starting to come in. Okay, Aspect, I think, has spotted them. However, yes, the sniper's out. He's going to try and look down long range, see if we can get anything through. But I don't know if this is going to be worth it, because the longer they wait here, the longer they're going to have to rotate, and the more teams are going to be situated on edge to hold them.
Yeah, and the other thing is, you know, how active have they been? How many fights have they gotten into, right? Like, they might have survived this first kind of surge situation, but, you know, the game's going to continue to roll on. I think it's worth noting that this lobby here is finally, you know, one of the lighter ones, I guess, right? 79 players up, but yeah, up until this point, you have had just stacker after stacker, round after round. And actually, look, a person was rebooted, so we're back up to 80. Just as I was kind of mentioning the lightness of the lobby, no, they're going to surely keep that number right back up. Yep.
I mean, outside of game number 3 yesterday, that was madness. I couldn't even cast half of that game. I was just looking at the player count and thinking, how is there 65 players up per zone?
I'm not gonna lie, I was a little worried. I was like, wait, is this gonna be the first ever WK FNCS? Like, is this what we've come to?
East?
Like, is this what we've come to? But no, things got back on track, you know. Intensity was, you know, put back where it needed to be.
Yeah, those players are just adapting to the crazy stackness that was game 1 and game 2, though. And then I think, again, it's kind of slowed down, right? Most of the Storm Surge has been roughly around 80 players. The level of stackness has been relatively similar in the majority of games. The teams who are taking fights in every other match as well. So, you know, necessarily the games haven't changed that much going on to this day as well. But for Who Fishy, Kaz, and Aspect, that question has been answered. How much have they done? And they've done 95 above.
Oh, look at this. Who Fishy finishes fights in average of 54 seconds, fastest in NA East.
Wow.
And you know, Miro's close behind that for sure. We saw what he did earlier today. That's just hands down.
54.1.
Right.
I thought it would have been Damir Reverse, if, as a trio at least, would have taken that, take the box for that one, but potentially as the solo, this has got it. But hold on, they're starting to rotate into Teo, Tabs G, and Pledge, who are actually in a fight with Gabe, Tahi, and Sprite at the same time on this Edge of Storm, and Who Fishy's team potentially might make this faster than 54 seconds.
We're watching a huge engagement right here, and look, they're not even looking to jump in. They're just going to fire at these weak and fresh builds from the side. This is going to really entice the other team on the other side to go ahead and get inside. It looks like Teo and Pledge are in the better position. They're on the backside of these walls, but do they own them? How much control do they have here? And they need the surge, so yes, this is going to be a pleasure for Pledge now. If he can find his shots, but no, he gets punished pretty big there. He's got to be careful and look for a new angle. Come down, slow down, and start healing. 40 seconds. They have plenty of time to find these tags here, but they need to do it now while they have the attention of Who Fishy shooting these builds.
He does need to do something. Pledge, the one that's closest to him. Tabs G is on that side, but Teo is keeping his distance, but potentially going out over the top, and maybe he can get a shot through into Aspect, Kaz, and Who Fishy and spray back before they even notice. That may be their best opportunity, but no, it seems like Pledge is going to get in, get close, go for a box fight instead, potentially go for some tops as he builds as much space as possible. Yes. Look, he's going for it. He's waiting for them to start spraying. He's taking a sniper out. He's looking. He built all the way around here to get this angle. They're going to heal up. Now, every second that passes, they're going more and more below as they haven't managed to get a single tag so far. This is going to be a 200-0 if they want to be able to manage to get actually above the thresholds as they go for this wall. Now, 2 players on the same wall, but Pledge, shot traded back to him, down to HP at this point. He's still trying to get in with this low HP. ADS out, but no, the Storm Surge will pick him up. Teo now also knocked. Tabs G alive left as a solo in the game, trying to out-heal this. 5 more players need to be going down, and 231 below. I think Tabs at this point is just trying to do what he can to out-heal the Storm Surge, whereas Sprite's team, with 6 eliminations total right now, are looking to be in a commanding spot in this fight alone.
And they're 1,000 damage above here. Ty's gonna step up here. He wants to take a swing at that. Tabs G on the run right now. He's gotta hit some shots though. We already know these 3 medkits can definitely help him in this kind of spot, but he doesn't have the time to sit down and actually use them. And that is wraps for our number 1 team coming into game 11. Tabs G, Teo, and Pledge fall to the Storm Surge for the what might be the 2nd time today, because they did just get taken out in 21st right before this. So these are 2 games back to back now where trouble is starting to set in paradise here, and the standings are open. They're open once again for Duke's Justin users to take their spot back in number 1, or Commandment Sense and the Edgy to jump up.
I said at the start of this game, the teams in the top, in particular when it came to Tabs, G, Teo, and Pledge, cannot, and I mean cannot, have 0-point games. For that, right there, a 0-point game. And the game before that for them, I think was, what, a 5-point game? Let me just check. Yes, a 5-point game. So it's 5 points across the last 2 games to them. You've got to think that for Tabs, G, Tail, and Pledge, that the nerves are starting to set in. The potential idea, the thought that they could be FNCS champions, maybe getting them too much in the later half of day number 2.
It could begin to slip away here, but they still have a whole game in front of them. Their most important game of the season is coming up. So don't go anywhere, y'all.
I'm going to be
Cut
right here. Yo, that next game is going to be crazy. The last game always is. But for right now,
think
the
about
story
it, though.
stuff to be said.
I was going to say, just think about it. Since they went down, it's going to just mean that one more team is going to enter the ring here for, you know what I mean, for the fight for number 1. Because, yeah, you know, it could have been a runaway train situation. It could have been just another great game, and that was it. But now that they've fallen, I mean, yeah, it really does open up the standings a little bit more.
Yeah, in particular for DGen, Agent Skills, and also the team who is third-partying their Aspect, Kaz, and Hoofishy, right? If they have big games right now, they can clutch up big time. In particular, if we see a Victory Royale coming out of DGen's team or Aspect's team, or obviously like Commandment's team in there too, man, this is just a championship title opened up to the field of how many people can go for it. Not as many as was on EU, because there was like 10 teams who could have won it in that final game, which is crazy. But still, having a number of teams going into that final game who have the potential to be the FNCS champions at the end of it is absolutely crazy. Right now, see what we're going to see. As Justice Team still in it as well.
This is close. This is very close.
It is. It is close. It's close indeed. User Team, look how low below the threshold they are. Getting into a fight as Justice is actually picked up here as well. Users now down to low HP. Jukes as well. The second place team now also may be picked up here with only 4 points in this game.
Very, very important fight here. They go down, this is it. It's completely open for everyone else. But look, he gets a big pickup. Users picks up Justice here, and he actually throws him inside an enemy box. Can he get the save here? He's got enough distance, but Knife, Fish, Donnie here, they're on the way. They're starting to look. They're looking to see if these floors are weak, and they're waiting for one another to open fire as a team. But no, instead they hesitate. They think against it. Little do they know that is the team that can actually take home the number 1 spot right now. And all of a sudden, Duke's Justin users are also granted another opportunity in this lobby when they should not have it. They should not have this chance right now. That should have been wraps for them.
Knifer's team just made a potential, I was about to say, tournament-altering decision there. But not only that, Jay's got beamed out the sky. Donnie's now left at the back as a soloist. Justice is picked up for the second time as he's got lobby focus from outside, and Donnie's team did not pick up the knock, but they're going to finish and get all of the loot for that too. So Jukes and Users now left in this as a duo. They're fine on the Storm Surge, but they're not very fine on the Rotate. Very much similar to in game number 7 when we saw Hoofishy's team burn that launch pad to get themselves into a better spot. We're seeing it again, but now they're switching to full metal builds. Will they be able to suppress the lobby focus? It seems like the eyes are not on them, which to me suggests that the eyes right now are still onto Donnie's team. So potentially not going for that fight was not the correct play.
Oof, they just pulled that off. They just managed to stay alive a little bit longer. Scented also by himself right now. Split up from Edgy. Edgy on the other side, fighting Skittles here. Edgy, this is a very important 1v1 right now. First, second, third, all of which have had their own tumultuous games here, having struggles coming into this round right now. Aegis and Skittles find one another. Sense and Edgy will find one another. They are still in the game. So now another team has been fragmented here. Another top 3 trio all of a sudden has lost a member, and they are having a hard game. And this is an important game. This is a very, very pivotal moment for all of these trios here, Reese.
Look, think about this. First place, Tabs, Teo, Pledge, out of this one. Second place, third place, and fourth place teams being Jukes' team, Commandment's team, and DJ's teams are all duos. So right now, our top 4 are completely in shambles in the second last game of the finals of NA East. You have to think the Aspect, Kaz, and Hoofishy, if they have a big game, or even Saf, Canada, and Stretch, if they have a big game too, this could hugely alter and potentially change the winners and the champions of the region.
Definitely. And you said it best. That was like a game altering moment right there. And then the lobby focus comes in still, so they weren't even completely left off the hook. Back to it though. Sinjin gets deleted out of the sky. Down he goes. And Edgy's going to come down for the quick save. He does land on top of the box. No way Edgy's going to be able to get this pick up here. Users and Dukes might be able to recognize the fact that this is a weak build next door. No, they're not going to see it, but Visuals comes on in. Oh, pros don't fake. Edgy should have committed there. And look at that. Now Senta's gonna get wrapped up, and Edgy's on the run here to try to stay alive. He's running past tons of trios, and no additional focus is coming in. It's all or nothing now as he's scrambling here to stay up. He's starting to run out of the down, and that's it. Third place out. It's even closer now.
Third place is out, but second place right here, almost out. Jukes pops the med kit, no shield to his name, and I'm pretty sure User still has some in his inventory, but them as a duo is so tough. Another duo underneath them, Day and Reverse as well. I don't feel like we're even watching trios at this point. It would seem like every single team that's had a contention spot, that's had a pop-off, seems to be in this game as a duo. So for Users and Juke right now, they hopefully have that launch pad that they can able to get something, but no, they're playing that signature aggression when it comes to 5th zone. They want the refresh. They want to ensure that they can keep themselves moving through the first moving zones, that 6th zone.
And don't forget, guys, Agers and Skittles are still alive here. That's our 4th place team. Just paired up right next door. No, Agers is down. Jack Acorn and Slash is still up. They still have a chance here. On high ground is Bizzle right now, but Users down to 1 tag. Users falls. Dukes now has no HP. He gets landed on by Jack and Slacks. They're next door, and they get him taken out. Down goes Dukes, and all of a sudden that is it. 1, 2, and 3 are out of the game here. The standings are open officially for the other trios to jump on up to really set us up for a close final game 6.
Those final game 6, 1, 2, 3, and 4 are out, which leaves Aspect's team still in it. And it was Kaz who actually picked up the 1v2 onto Azur's team, so huge place from them. Stretch still in this as well, our number 6th team. Not playing their usual high ground playstyle, but they're close. And if I would bet any money on it right now, Stretch is going to look up. He's going to see Bizzle up on high ground. He's going to start spraying, and they are going to look to claim the victory royale in this game. They are not a team who is content with being second high, with being mid-ground layer. They're a team who wants to play high, and they want to pick up the victory royale.
This is the opportunity right now, opportunity of a lifetime here in the tournament. As no, the launch pad gets broken out there. Stretch is the only one who manages to take it. Kanata barely saves himself there, almost taking fall damage and getting taken out of the round. Here it is. Gabe is going to go on and fall all the way to low. Jack's still up. Other names still in this game as well. I am seeing, of course, Avery here. Hoofishy and company still up too. There, Kanata does manage to get down to his trio. Here's Stretch trying to branch his way on up. This is reminiscent of the final game of last season as we saw it all come down here, but don't worry. We get to continue this arc here today because we still have another round in front of us. Depending on how this plays out though, Reese, Stretch could jump up to top 3 here.
He could indeed, and this is such good awareness to make himself all the way up this hill. But no, Kanata is picked up at the back, so Stretch and Saf as well also picked up to Jack, who is just behind them on the leaderboard. So Stretch is now alive as a solo. He has to make sure he gets up this hill as fast as he can, as he's got Bizzle right on his back. But no, he's a great solo player. He understands exactly what he needs to do. He's got himself in that good position, and hopefully clutches himself up. Big placement points too. But Booga finally putting on a show with Nosh and Avery today, but no materials. They can't get out. They can't even build up with that single brick build that he tried to drop to Avery, so they dropped down to the back of the zone to avoid any of those eliminations giving them to anyone else.
All of a sudden, Frisk ends up on the high ground here. He's putting extra pressure down into the lobby. They're looking to take home this victory royale here. Stretch still alive, the most relevant player in this end game right now in a top 4 situation. Now, don't forget, Stretches have phenomenal solo performances in the past. One of the few players to actually take crowns home as a solo player, showing us what he's got. But there's a full trio up top. He's just got to survive at least one more team for some more placement points. I think he's done it. I think he actually clutched out this top 3. He's playing the Storm here, nice and slow. Can he steal away any of these elims right now? Wait, this is winnable. All of a sudden, this is very winnable. Stretch on high ground. It's a 1v2 situation. He's out of match though, Reese. He hits Frisk. That's one shot, but no. Then it comes through. Frisk clutches up. Oh my gosh, that was so close.
That was so clutch. But for visuals, Big LG, Joji, and Frist as well. They're going to pick up the victory royale in the second last game for that as well. For them, they were looking really good at the end of day 1, but I'm not sure how close they were to the top at the end of our current leaderboard, so how much that actually impacts the top 3, the top 5. But look, Stretch, what a show he put on there. Clutching up a top 2 as well, remember, from being all the way down on the mountain, having to climb all the way up through the crevasse to make their way up to the top there to get a top 2. Beautifully executed play, and I'm sure that he's going to be happy with that, and in particular coming to this final game.
Hey man, definitely it's keeping it interesting for us here on the desk, and you know what, the story continues on. Let's hurry up and get to Zeke here so we can get to this last game.
Thank you guys so much. Crushing the casting right now. My goodness, shout outs to Observer. Like, if you did not understand the depth that these guys were in when that shot were looking up, that was a massive chasm they had to climb, and by that time there's only a handful of builds in the pockets of every trio trying to navigate their ways up. I will say, once again, Frisk and company, Victory Royale 10 eliminations, you love to see it. But Saf, though, Vivid, he makes it into a second place. That is 26 points by itself.
Yeah, I mean, Struts goes huge right there. Kanata and Saf go down a little bit earlier than him there, but he makes a great Storm play, hides away in the Storm because he knows he has that Chug Cannon, use the remainder of his builds to sneak up on the high ground, give him a shot at honestly winning the game as MDF called right there. You know, there was a real opportunity for him to 1v2 that situation, but you know, that out of the picture, he picks up second place regardless, picks up a ton of solo points. And you know, looking at the leaderboard prior to that game, they were in 6th place, trailing by about 40 points outside of top 3. So that clutch right there combined with the eliminations is, as you can see here, going to put them in the top 4 with only 4 points behind top 3.
Wow, guys, first and second place right now, 5 points the difference going into the last game of FNCS finals. This is hype. It doesn't get any much better than this. Oh my goodness. I mean, we saw in the last game there as well, fellas. We saw that a lot of trios. I mean, early on, even Dejan, Ages, and Skittles there, like, you know, having to kind of drive off with 50 health left in their vehicle just to get something in the game standing points wise. We saw towards the end, Stretch, as you mentioned, made a massive play for Saf and Kanata to get into that top position. You can see they're at 256 right now. They're in 4th place, 174 placement points, 41 eliminations. We are talking small margins right here. You can see even in 5th position, 5 points behind them, Slacks, Acorn, and Jack right on their tails here. 2 points behind that, Aspect, Kaz, and Fishy. But I mean, this is the exciting time. Obviously, Reese and Vivid, you've chosen Commandment, Centered, and Edgy there, who are currently in 3rd position at 260 points. Only 26 from 2nd, and I think 31 from top spot. There is still so much to play for. This is the last game as well, boys. Vivid, this is huge.
Yeah, I mean, if we go ahead and look at the math right there, Saf, Kanata, and Trudge had 220 points for that game, right? So they just had a 36-point game. If we look at where Commandment, Sentinel, and Edgy at, if they get 36 points and Justice, Users, Dukes, and Tabs, Teo, and Pledge don't get really any points, then they can win as well. Just want to kind of put it into perspective how close this is going to be going into this final game.
Yeah, it's going to be so close. I cannot believe that they're back on the top spot again. After such a tumultuous start at the beginning of today's proceedings, they finally make their way back there, but can they hold it in this one last game? It's kind of our own little mini reboot round here. I say mini, it's a huge reboot round because it's FNCS Final for the Active Champions, but still, it's massive. I think that's what it all comes down to, is whether or not they can hold out and get into those top spots, because we saw a lot of top teams are going down early on, giving other teams to kind of a chance to rise through and get in there. But let's take actually a look here at one of our top teams who we think could be very much in with a chance. We just saw Stretch, I mean, that play as well, Vivid, a second ago, where Stretch actually holds off in the storm, waiting as everyone starts to build downwards. He suddenly propels himself upwards to give himself the best opportunity, the trajectory above high ground, as we know these guys can strike so effortlessly, and gets that second position, giving them all those points. But I mean, they're a fantastic trio that I think we're going to, definitely see up there in this last game. They know exactly what to do. But DJ and Asian Skittles, could this be their moment? Could this be their time?
Yeah, I mean, them getting out of Corny is going to be really, really important for them to be able to establish a run at like top